Happy New Year. Welcome. 2019. Made it. New year, new you. And the perfect time to update your portfolio and put your best self forward. I personally like to start by going back through last year and pulling the best of the best, but perhaps also updating with some things that you've been wanting to do, but maybe haven't been able to work into a job. Obviously, when starting off, your portfolio is going to be very heavy and brimming with personal work. And as you progress through your career, it levels off. But having a healthy mix of work, that is stuff you got paid for, as well as personal projects, is important in any portfolio. The paid work shows what you can do when presented with a brief or a budget or a timeline, and the personal work shows that you can think on your own and also how you can concept and design a shoot out of thin air. We've talked about these before. I like to set aside days every month to shoot new work for myself. But it's not just about the looks. There's a bunch of stuff that you can learn and build upon in doing these portfolio building days, which are just as important as the images that you'll get out of them. So keep these things in mind when you set up your own portfolio building day. And this all carries over into work, obviously. Plan for this day. Like, really plan for it. Know what you and the others involved are capable of. Don't overpromise to yourself or anybody else. It's easy to think that you can tackle everything in your brain, but really, if you're doing one of these portfolio building sessions, you really want to take your time and get everything as perfect as possible, because you don't want to fill your portfolio with half-assed images. So try to minimize the downtime during that day. The last thing you want to do is waste time. If you're doing portraits and you're using models or regular people, try to stagger them so that while you're shooting one model, the other one's getting prepped. And depending on your shooting space, you can also build multiple sets so you can swap quickly between different lighting designs and maximize your time. Also, just like you have to load in all your gear and set it up, so does the rest of your team. So make sure you leave ample time for hair and makeup and propping and styling to get in and get set. Because when everybody's organized, you save lots of time. And then realize that not all of your clothes or all of your props are going to get used. But make sure that you have more than enough on hand. You can always return what you don't use, and then some. But the last thing you want to do on a day like that is finish up early. Especially if you're renting space, you're just throwing money away. Regardless of what you are actually shooting, being able to communicate to the people on set with you what you need and what you want without being a prick is vital to your career. And again, this is all about practice and learning in the comfort of a day that you've created. So if you've never sourced a model before, this is the time to call up an agency and learn that process, because it is a process. Or set an ad online and privately source models to shoot. You may not get exactly what you want the first time around, but you're learning what to say and what to ask for and how to write your ad so that when the time comes for you to do this on a paid job, you've already worked it out. And you can quickly communicate with everyone involved what's happening and what the process is. It's always fun to meet with and work with all different kinds of people, but it's also really nice to have a team that you can go to and that you know and trust and can rely on to take what you're saying and run with it. Portfolio building days are perfect for getting to know your team and work out all the kinks and communication issues, so that when you're on set with a real client, there are no hiccups and it's seamless. And portfolio building doesn't have to be a big, huge production day that takes a month to plan. It could just be you and a couple friends making it happen. And that's great, but try to push the boundaries a little more this year and really make bigger shit happen. So keep those things in mind. Really try to work on organization, communication, team building. Because the better you are at those things, the better you are at being a photographer. Like it, subscribe to it, leave a comment, or perhaps all three, and I'll see you next time.